Hey, it's time for the World Class Championship Wrestling recap. I'm Steve Shettler. We are hot on the heels coming off of Superstars at the Sportatorium, the world-famous Sportatorium in Dallas, Texas. World Class Championship Wrestling with our second show under the direction of Fritz Adkins. And things started off really hot. Mark Lawrence welcoming fans to the Sportatorium. And lots of matches, first-round matches for the World Class World Heavyweight Championship Tournament underway last night. As we get closer to WCCW's big event, the Parade of Champions, coming up in April. Mark Lawrence was ready to go.
Here we go!
I don't know if that was Mark or not, but he was definitely ready to go. Got to ring that bell. And action was underway with our first round matchup in the tournament as Fire, the Masked Fire, taking on Minister Lazarus Sin in our opening match. And Fire came out on top after a tough back and forth matchup. Fire with the victory there. See, that was the fire sound effect for the Masked Superstar, Fire.
Fire, fire, fire,
yes,
fire.
Beavis even liking Fire as Fire wins in the big matchup against Lazarus Sin. Fire moving on to the semifinals, the final four of the tournament for the World Class World Heavyweight Championship. From there, we checked in at the World Class Control Center with Willie Mercer. There was Willie talking about all the goings-ons in World Class Championship Wrestling, giving us a look forward to the World Class Heavyweight Tournament, the tag team tournament with the matchups going on there. We've also got a big announcement that Fritz Adkins going to be doing something a little bit different that other promotions and promoters in the FWA have not done, as we're going to take it to the pay window, if you will, as the winners of each matchup on television and pay-per-views for WCCW will now be receiving payouts, and the further up the card you are, the more money you're going to get if you win those matches, including the main event, of course, getting the top money for World Class Championship Wrestling. Also looking forward to some other big events. Willie Mercer had the lineup, including Parade of Champions. Here's what Mercer had to say.
All that at Texas Stadium. Well, we'll be back with more World Class Championship Wrestling in a moment.
All right, so Willie Mercer looking forward to that at Texas Stadium. Parade of Champions coming up in April. From there, we went backstage. Misty Wyatt, the voluptuous Misty Wyatt, backstage doing an interview with Fire following his big victory. Fire was quite happy, but Colt Cassidy rudely interrupted things. Colt has been showing a little bit of an attitude lately, and that would show up later on in the Superstars at the Sportatorium, as well as in the out-of-ring action. Misty Wyatt with these comments.
Oh, the stories I could tell you.
Oh, I bet she could tell some pretty good stories, as she was involved in some interesting things during the night during Superstars at the Sportatorium. After that, we got a recap of the Hans van der Spregen Tex Williams feud that started up last month with Hans getting clanked over the head with the cowbell and the bull rope. This matchup was a rematch of that. It was a first-round matchup in the World Class Heavyweight Title Tournament, and after all the shenanigans and all low blows and more clanking of the head on Hans, Tex Williams came out on top. Here's what he had to say after the match.
I'm the guy who does what I want to do whatever I've always wanted to do, anytime, any place.
The fans not happy with the involvement of Dixie Destroyer, Atlanta Brawler, getting involved with that matchup with Tex Williams. Tex getting the win and moving on. After that, another first-round matchup in the World Class World Heavyweight Championship Tournament as Brent Fox taking on Vicious Vinny Stone. Took only about 5 minutes. Brent Fox, he seems to be quite the technician and also seems to be quite the bad guy, as the crowd not too happy with Brent Fox winning. Yeah, Sportatorium fans, those Texas fans, not appreciating Brent Fox and his victory last night. He moves on to the semifinals of the tournament. We took a quick break after that, then came back with the Senior Schmitty's taco stand. Yes, fans are loving the Schmitty tacos. That meat of Schmitty's, that extra special sauce that he puts in his tacos. Senior Schmitty's taco stand's quite the hit.
Tacos, hot tacos here.
Get your hot tacos with Senior Schmitty's taco stand. Now, Misty Wyatt interviewed Senior Schmitty, who seemed to be quite taken with the beauty of Misty Wyatt.
She is cute and helpful, and she really seems into me.
So there's your thoughts from Senior Schmitty. We'll see if any sort of relationship can develop between Misty Wyatt and Senior Schmitty and his tacos. Misty was quite taken with the taste of Schmitty's meat. In other action, we went to the main event of the evening as Ace Remington, the guy that got celebrated last month and then got beat over the head with an electric guitar courtesy of Razor Seether, taking on Colt Cassidy, the guy that's showing a little bit of attitude lately, as we were talking about in the main event. And Ace Remington came out on top in this one, hitting the ace in the hole. Senior referee David Manley counting the 1, 2, 3, Ace getting the win. And I tell you what, the crowd loves Ace Remington. Here was the reaction after the 3 count. You see what I'm talking about there? Crowd going crazy for Ace Remington. But as he was celebrating his win, once again, Rockstar Razor Seether interrupts rudely with an interesting guitar solo. I don't know if his guitar is broken from hitting Ace Remington over the head from last month, but might want to tune that thing. Razor Seether with the guitar solo there. He comes out. He's accompanied by the roadie and by Blackout, his entourage. I don't know why the guy needs an entourage. He gets along just fine on his own, but seems to think he needs that extra help. He is bragging about the contract that he got from Fritz Adkins, the owner of WCCW, which brings out the big money, the ka-ching. And he's bragging about his money, bragging about making life a living hell for Ace Remington. But Fritz, the old guy Fritz, he was not having it. He came out from the opposite side of the Sportatorium. Of course, you have the heel locker room on one side, the babyface locker room on the other. Fritz comes out and says, yeah, he gave him a nice contract, but he also determines the matches in World Class Championship Wrestling. And at Fantasy Bash, we will be seeing Razor Seether against Ace Remington. That comes up at the FWA's premier event, Fantasy Bash, in March. So that should be a heck of a matchup. Seether didn't seem too happy about it. Ace seemed quite happy about it. So semifinal matchups coming up next month. In March has Ace Remington against Brent Fox, Fire against that gall darn Godzilla Tex Williams, and also the semifinals of the tag team titles, Holy Damnation against the Miller Boys, and the Wrastlin' Rebels against Amherst and Derringer, the Gunslingers. That should be quite interesting. And that does it for our WCCW recap. Tune in. If you haven't checked things out, lots of things happening in World Class Championship Wrestling under the direction of Fritz Adkins. Lots of new wrestlers showing up, and I'm sure they'll be making a splash in the coming months. For World Class Championship Wrestling and the FWA, I'm Steve Shettler reporting.